Would Anakin have turned to the dark side if it weren't for Padmé? Probably not, but it's not a fair question because it's not Padmé's fault that Anakin had those dreams and decided to do something about those dreams. She's innocent. Or is she? Now, to explore more specifically what I mean by this, I want to talk about the hit HBO drama, The Sopranos. And now, if you haven't seen The Sopranos, it's much better than this video you're watching now. You'd be better off pausing this, watching all 6 seasons of The Sopranos, and then coming back and unpausing this video to watch the rest. There's a really amazing moment in Sopranos, Season 3, Episode 7, when Carmella, wife to mob boss Tony Soprano, sees a Jewish therapist and inexplicably finds herself weeping. Throughout the previous 3 seasons, Carmella has easily been one of the most interesting characters in the show, because unlike most of the people in her world, she is not without a moral compass. She wants to be a good person, but she's torn apart because she struggles with the fact that she is a mob boss's wife. Here's what the therapist says.
You must trust your initial impulse and consider leaving him. You'll never be able to feel good about yourself. You'll never be able to quell the feelings of guilt and shame that you talked about. As long as you're his accomplice.
You're wrong about the accomplice part, though.
You sure?
All I did was make sure he's got clean clothes in his closet and dinner on his table.
So enabler would be a more accurate job description for you than accomplice. My apologies.
So, you think I need to define my boundaries more clearly? Keep a certain distance, not internalize my...
What did I just say?
Leave him.
Take only the children, what's left of them, and go.
The therapist forces Carmella to confront a truth that she's been trying to ignore. Before this scene, her love for Tony and for the life they had together blinded her to this truth. But after this scene, she can no longer ignore it.
One thing you can never say that you haven't been told.
I see. You're right, I see.
So what does she do about it? She does not follow the therapist's advice to leave. She makes a decision to accept her role in the family, to accept that she's a gangster, that she lives off of blood money, that this is her role in life. She chooses the dark side. How does any of this relate to Padmé? Well, Padmé too is blinded by love.
So love has blinded you?
Well, that's not exactly what I meant.
But it's probably true.
You're crazy. You are crazy. You are both of you crazy!
Sure, she doesn't know that Anakin is slowly turning to the dark side, and even when she's told that he's killing younglings, she still has room for doubt. She's caught between trusting 2 different men who are telling her 2 different things. And to her credit, she makes the brave choice that Carmella could not bring herself to do. The moment she realizes that it is true, there is no hesitation. She says no. This is consistent with a point I've made before in my other Star Wars videos, that in the Star Wars universe, the mark of heroism is to break out of your moral conditioning, to resist the path of least resistance, to say no.
Your tauntaun will freeze before you reach the first marker.
Then I'll see you in hell. I must obey my master.
That is the sign of the truly human. It's something that only humans can do, that droids cannot do. And that is how we break cycles. So in that context, Padmé is a hero.
I've decided to go back to Naboo.
Go back? But Your Majesty, be realistic, they'll force you to sign the treaty.
I will sign no treaty, Senator.
However, there's a bit more to say on the topic. She knew it was a bad idea going into this relationship. And not just because it was forbidden, but because it was wrong.
No, you listen. We live in a real world. Come back to it.
She was the older one. She was the one who said no initially and laid down the law. And eventually she was the one to say yes and to permit this taboo relationship to flower in the darkness. My question for you is this. Why does Padmé say,
It's just not possible.
in this scene, but she says,
I love you.
in this scene? What happened to change her mind in between these two moments? I can see one explanation for this going along these lines. she always had feelings for him. She always had an attraction, a fascination with him. And it was only in this moment when she really thought she was about to die, they were both about to die, that this was the end of the road, that she had no reason to hold it in anymore. So she threw caution to the wind and spoke her truth.
I think our lives are about to be destroyed anyway.
But I don't think this accounts for everything. For one thing, Padmé was not giving up here. She had a plan. So I think there's more to it. Well, let's remind ourselves what happens in the plot between these two scenes. Did Padmé perhaps get a glimpse of the compassionate, beautiful, light-hearted side of Anakin in between these two scenes? No, she saw him kill a bunch of aliens. And she heard him talk about killing more aliens. She witnessed his intensity, the depth of his feeling, the depth of his power. And I think a dark side of herself was attracted to that. No, I don't think she's proud of that. I don't think she thinks, this is great, I'm attracted to this guy who's violent and extremely intense. But their relationship was never one that she was proud of.
We could keep it a secret.
We'd be living a lie.
It was kept in the shadows, hidden from the world. Theirs is a lunar, not a solar love. Maybe Padmé never clocked it consciously, but it was always there from the start. From the very moment she fell in love with him, she loved his darkness. This was a shadow romance. So does that mean that Padmé is the villain of the prequels? Still no. But she was, on some level, complicit with and responsible for Anakin's turn to the dark side. She loved and nurtured his shadow self and kept it separate and secret from his public solar self. Even before Palpatine, Padmé cleaved this man in two, with Anakin on one side and Vader on the other. And whether or not she knew it, she was in love with Vader. And yet it's even more complex than that, because in loving his shadow, she actually laid the groundwork for his redemption. She was the first one to plant the idea that there's still good in him.
There's good in him.
Which, at the moment she said it, is pretty unthinkable. But because these were her final words, because this was the last thing she had to say before she could leave this world, because of her faith in him, she laid the groundwork for this.
I know there is good in you.
She literally gives birth to A New Hope. Thanks for listening, you guys. I do have more ideas for Star Wars videos. I could even expand this one to talk about how romance works in the Star Wars films more generally, perhaps dipping my toe into why they got romance so unbelievably wrong in the sequel trilogy. Let me know if you want to see that. Otherwise, keep it real. Take it easy.